All praises to Yahawah, Ba'asham Yahawashi, Bahasham Makar. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the nation of Israel. And this is going to be a video on this whole this thing that I've seen one of the apostles mention, where he was going into Coequal, and how you had this guy God Logic, who, like, he's a real strange guy, man. Like, when I saw the video, I was thinking, why is this guy in a cooking apron? Right? Like, why is this guy in a cooking apron? He brings wooden spoons to debates to try and say, oh, you're getting cooked and all that. Like, he's bringing all these props instead of just focusing on teaching the scriptures. He's trying to have, like, Malone as a reader, and it's just all dumb, right? But he's came up with this whole thing about Coequal, like, oh, when you look up Coequal, it ultimately means, when I looked it up, it ultimately means that something's equal to another, and Yahawashi is not equal to Yahawah. He's not equal to him, right? Yahawashi had to be created for starters, so how could he be equal? Yahawah created Yahawashi, so how could Yahawashi be equal? It doesn't, like, when these people say these things, it don't make any sense. And the only reason why a lot of these people even want to try and claim that who they call the Messiah, as they call it, Jesus, is equal to God, is because they want to make the so-called white man be God on this earth. That's the real reason, as far as I can see, that these people say such things. Now, let's go to this. Revelation chapter 4 and verse 10. The 24 elders fall down before him that sat on the throne. This is talking about Yahawah. And worship him that liveth forever and ever, and cast their crowns before the throne, saying, Thou art worthy, O Yahawah, to receive glory and honor and power, for thou hast created all things, and for thy pleasure they are and were created. Now, these all things that were created for the pleasure of the one that was sitting on the throne includes Yahawashi. That includes the Messiah of the Bible, right? Whereas Yahawashi cannot say that he created Yahawah. Now, we as Israelites, and even Jehovah's Witnesses believe this as well. We as Hebrew Israelites, we believe, because the scriptures say it, really is the reason why we believe it. We believe that Yahawah made Yahawashi, and Yahawashi made everything else, right? But Yahawashi cannot say that he made Yahawah, whereas Yahawah can say that he made everything. Going back to a scripture in Sirach 18th chapter, which says, He that liveth forever created all things in general, because Yahawah created Yahawashi and gave Yahawashi the ability to create everything else. And in doing that, therefore Yahawah really created everything else that after Yahawashi made, but Yahawah only had to make one thing once. You understand the power that we're talking, that you have to do that. I'm just going to make one thing one time, and after the creation I'm going to make is going to be so good that everything's going to run forever off this one creation that I make, which shows you how powerful Yahawashi is. Yet Yahawashi is not more powerful than Yahawah. Therefore, he's not equal to him. He ain't equal. He ain't co-equal. He ain't none of that. And Yahawashi would admit that himself. Because if Yahawashi was equal to God, then when Yahawashi was called good teacher, he wouldn't have said, why callest thou me good? That was, there's only one good, the Father. He would have accepted that he's also good, because he would be equal to him, right? Colossians chapter 1 and verse 13, who have delivered us from the power of darkness and have translated us into the kingdom of his dear Son, in whom we have redemption through his blood, even forgiveness of sins, who is the image. And now here's the thing. This also proves that Yahawashi is not equal to Yahawah, because the blood of Yahawashi gives us forgiveness, right? But we're not asking for forgiveness from Yahawashi, you know. The person that we want forgiveness for our sins for or from is not Yahawashi. We want forgiveness of our sins from Yahawah, which also would prove that Yahawashi is not equal to Yahawah. Now, Yahawashi is a highly ranked, but he's not equal to Yahawah. And when it comes to showing respect, respect must be shown to Yahawashi. But greater respect is shown to Yahawah. But because of the situation we've put ourselves in, where Yahawashi is our mediator, we cannot show respect to Yahawah alone. We have to show respect to Yahawah through the mediator that he gave us, Yahawashi. You can't try and go through Yahawah, man. I mean Yahawashi, and just try and get to Yahawah. You can't do that. Just like how even in this world, you can't try and disrespect a man's son, but then love him and like him. He'll be like, whose son you talking to like that? Don't talk to my son like that. Or a man of honor would do that anyway. Verse 15, who is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature, which is talking about Yahawashi. He was the first thing made. Verse 16, for by him were all things created. By who? By Yahawashi, that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible. So Yahawashi deserves a high level of respect for this, yet Yahawah made him though. Whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, all things were created by him and for him. So you can't try and disrespect Yahawashi and only show love to Yahawah. You can't do that. But they're not equal. They're not equal. They're not co-equal. None of that. Just like how all people on earth are not equal. I'm not equal to somebody that's been believing in this same doctrine for 40 years, 30 years, 20 years. I'm not equal to anyone that's been believing this longer than me. I'm not equal. Now, you can want to be equal all you want. You're not equal though, right? And the way how the ranking goes with this thing is different than the ranking of how anything else in the world goes, because how most things in the world goes, just because you're older than somebody else, you're of a higher rank than them. But that's not the way how this goes though. This is something completely different, and Yahawah will put you in the place that he wants you to be, even if you think you're going to try and become a rank somewhere else. You can't make your rank, man. Just like how the Israelites are the top ranked humans on the earth. Whether people want to doubt that or not, they can say whatever they want to say. The Messiah is an Israelite. The highest ranked person to ever walk this earth is an Israelite. And why is he an Israelite? Like, why did the Messiah have to be an Israelite? Why did the Messiah have to be an Israelite? Well, the people that was supposed to get forgiveness of sins, that was seeking forgiveness of sins, were the Israelites, nobody else. The people that needed forgiveness of their sins, not from Yahawashi, by the way, from Yahawah, proving that Yahawah is higher than Yahawashi, because we're not when we kept the covenant that we have is not a covenant with Yahawashi. It's a covenant with Yahawah. Yahawashi is not the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He's not. Yet he's highly ranked. He's the top ranked of all creation. Because Yahawah was not created. But he's not higher than Yahawah. He can do a lot of the things Yahawah can do. He does not know when the day of the Lord is, though. He does not know when the day of his father's wrath is. Even though he's going to be the main instrument in acting out every single thing that takes place on that day. He don't know when it is. Even though he's going to be fulfilling most, if not every single thing of that day. It's not his day. It's his father's day. But he's the main vessel of bringing that destruction. Now, am I lying? If I'm lying, put it out there, man, and put some scriptures up. Not your own vain opinion. Don't be one of those, I can tell you what it ain't, but I can't tell you what it is, people, man, because I can't stand people like that. I can't stand when people do that, man. They can tell you everything what's not supposed to be, but when it comes to telling you what it's supposed to be, or what the correct answer is, they ain't got nothing to say. Middle bit of verse 16. Whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, all things were created by him and for him, and he is before all things. This is talking about Yahawashi, and by him all things consist. So Yahawashi is literally at the center of things existing. Yet he's still not more highly ranked than Yahawah, because Yahawah is even above that in terms of that. If Yahawah chose to, he could make a complete exact same scenario again, where he changed the rankings and made the Ishmaelites be like what the Israelites are if he wanted to. He could just reverse everything and just change it so that the way how the Ishmaelites decide is the right way to live became a way that he thinks is righteous, and it works. The only reason why the way of Yahawah, the laws of Yahawah actually makes a human body be immortal, would lead to immortality, is because Yahawah designed the human body to become immortal based on keeping that way. I don't understand how what you like when I'm thinking of this. That's the first time I've even said that out my mouth, and I'm gonna say it again. The only reason why the human body is immortal based on keeping the laws of Yahawah is because Yahawah designed the human body to be immortal based on living that way. Right? He could have designed the body to be immortal off something else if he wanted to, but he didn't though. The reason why it's bad to be a LG3T and you aren't alive if you're a human is because Yahawah made that be bad. Yahawah said it's bad, so it's bad. He designed a human for that to be bad, with how they are, with how they actually designed. He designed a human to their body to deteriorate if they eat a bad diet, man. And he decided what the good diet is. He decided that Yahawashi was going to be Yahawashi before the foundation of the earth. He decided that the Israelites were going to be the Israelites before the foundation of the earth. He decided that the Edomites were going to be hated before they ever did anything good or bad. Am I lying? Say I'm lying. And then watch me go Romans 9, which I'm going to go to right now. Say I'm lying, man. One of you crispy, crusty-ass Christians out there, say that that's a lie and that ain't true. And watch this then. Romans chapter 9 and verse 11. For the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil. So they're co-equal. Since y'all like to use these stupid words, they were co-equal in their works. Yeah. They were equal. They were co-equal in their works, these two children, right? They were co-equal. They both hadn't did nothing good, and they both hadn't did nothing bad. They were co-equal in their works at this time, right? That the purpose of God according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. It was said unto her, the elders shall serve the younger. That's not co-equal, because one's serving the other. So even though they were co-equal, since y'all like these words, these fancy $20 million words, yeah? They were co-equal in their works at that time. They hadn't did nothing good or evil. But they weren't co-equal in that one was going to have to serve the other, the elder one. So they weren't even co-equal in their age. The elder was elder. Doesn't matter how many seconds he was older by, how many minutes. You know what I mean? They were twins. But they were fraternal twins, though. They were different nations. It didn't matter that one was older. They weren't co-equal. Yeah? Since y'all like fancy words like that. Verse 13, as it is written, Jacob her I loved, but Esau I hated. They weren't co-equal in how God decided to treat them. One was loved and one was hated. Since y'all like all these fancy, smancy words all the time, man. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with God? God forbid. For he saith to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So it ain't co-equal in how he's going to have compassion on people. Some he's going to have compassion on, some he's going to have mercy on, and others he ain't going to. Verse 16 said, is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of God that showeth mercy. It ain't equal. It ain't equal. It ain't co-equal. It ain't co-sequel, mequal, twequal, trequel, any of what you want to fancy things you want to try and come with, man. It ain't none of that. It ain't equal, man. It ain't even Stevens around here, man. Ain't no even Steven. It's uneven in favor of the Israelites, in favor of the children of Israel. It's uneven. And even among the children of Israel, it's not completely equal. But then when you read Romans 11, you find that ultimately, in the future of immortality, every single Israelite is going to ultimately get the kingdom. They're all going to be saved, and so all Israel shall be saved. Romans chapter 11 and verse 26. For Yahweh has concluded them all in unbelief, that he might have mercy upon all. Yet it's still not equal, because we're not equal to Yahawashi. We're not the Messiah. We're not so great and glorious that we had to be hid at the right hand side of Yahweh, so that the heathen could even have the courage to carry on doing what they're doing. Because if Yahawashi was on this earth right now, the Edomites would just be like, you know what, there's no point. Whatever Yahawashi looks like right now, if he was on this earth somewhere, just waiting for the day of the Lord to come, and instead of being in the heavenly realm and people could just see him, they'd be like, you know what, there's no point. What's the point, man? I'll give up. Nah, just put me in captivity now. Just let the 1,000 years begin now. That's what Esau would say. They'd be like, just let that 1,000 years begin now. There's no point. They were like, oh, that's what we're up against. What's the point then? I don't even want to release the MOTB. I don't want to. I'll give up. They wouldn't have the courage to carry on. Because when they see Yahawashi, they're going to be scared, and yet all their fight in them is going to be drained out, man. but they're going to be made to fight because Yahawah wants them to. But when he looks at them, no one's going to have any courage in them. It says it in the scriptures, 2 Ezra, the 13th chapter. It says all things that he looked on were terrified, something along those lines. It says that. Verse 17, for the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for the same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. Pharaoh wasn't equal to the Israelites. He weren't equal or co-equal. He weren't no even Stevens, none of that. Verse 18, therefore have he mercy on whom he will have mercy, on whom he will he harden. If that ain't equal, thou will say then unto me, why doth he yet find fault for who have resisted his will? So if they ain't equal, right, so why is God going to jack them up? Y'all, that's what y'all Israelites always say, right? Yahweh's going to jack them up. They're going to be through. They're going to be through. THRU. They're going to be through and all that. They're going to get jacked up and all that. So if they're going to get jacked up, and that's what y'all Israelites always say, the Most High is going to destroy them, yeah? So if that's going to happen, then what's the point? Because he made them like that, innit? So that don't sound fair to me. It don't matter about you, what you think sounds fair. Who are you? Just be grateful you're an Israelite, man, if you are one. Be grateful. And be grateful that you're a heathen of another nation if you're not an Edomite. And if you're an Edomite, be grateful that it was even made to be able to live in the first place and do anything. Be grateful that you even had a chance to be alive on earth. Because Yahweh didn't have to create your wicked ass. Thou wilt say then unto me, why doth he yet find fault for who have resisted his will? Neighbor, O man, who art thou that replies against God? Shall a thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus? Have not the potter power over the clay of the same lump, which in this case it's talking about Isaac, to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor, not co-equal? Hasn't Yahweh got the ability to take from one man and make him have two twins and give honor to one and dishonor to the other, meaning that they're not equal or co-equal? None of these fancy schmancy terms y'all want to try and come out. I don't even think y'all know what co-equal means. I don't even think y'all, the reason why y'all Israelites don't want to say that is y'all don't even know what co-equal means. Oh, that's so hard for us to type in. If there's a word we never heard before, it's so hard after you bring the word to our attention if we didn't hear about it before. Just tap that in on Google and then find out what it means and then realize you're wrong anyway. You're wrong anyway. Co-equal don't mean nothing different than being equal. Like, it don't mean nothing different than that. So don't try and come with all these fancy smancy and all that, mate. Bun all that. Because you brought out a new word that you thought that you're on some Sesame Street business in it, right? And you're still wrong anyway. Your doctrine ain't been changed by the word co-equal. It's still wrong. And our doctrine's still true, even involving the word co-equal. Like, what are you on about, man? The salvation that Israelites are going to receive is co-equal. They're all going to get that penny. That salvation, they're all going to be under the new covenant. But there's still going to be a rank in the heavenly realm, in the kingdom of heaven, which is going to be on earth. Verse 21, I've read that already. Verse 22, what if God willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction, which came from the same lump, by the way. These vessels of wrath fitted to destruction came from the same lump, the same vessel, right? Which the lump or the vessel is Isaac. Verse 23, and that he might make known the riches of his glory and the vessels of mercy which he have afore prepared unto glory. These vessels of mercy which have afore prepared unto glory are from the same lump, by the way. The lump of Isaac. They're destined to get glory. Predestined to get glory. So all you people that are running your mouth, trying to be on some smarty pants business, talking about some co-equal and all this, mate, you're wrong. The Israelites are not co-equal with nobody on earth. Yahweh is not co-equal with Yahawashi neither. Because why doesn't Yahawashi know the day of the Lord then? Who's Yahweh's dad and mom on the earth? Who is Yahweh's earthly mom and dad? Because you better not even dare say Joseph and Mary, because then you're a demon. Who was it? What tribe is Yahweh from? What tribe is he from? Yahweh is so high, he transcends nationalities. But if he was to be from a tribe or a nationality, he would be an Israelite from the tribe of Judah. But he's not, though. But if he was to pick one, he would be an Israelite from the tribe of Judah, because an Israelite from the tribe of Judah is the highest ranked individual that you can be on the earth. And that's why the Messiah that he made for us to save our nation is an Israelite from the tribe of Judah. And Yahawashi is said in the scriptures to look exactly like Yahawah, if you believe what the scriptures say. But all coming with all this Coequal stuff, yeah, just allow it, man. There's not no fancy smancy words that you people can come out with, no words that you think we ain't heard of before, that's gonna change that fact that the doctrine that we believe is true and the doctrine that you believe is false. Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.